This is tempered glass. Tempered glass is made, it's safety glass, it's what's in the side windows of your car. So if it gets a small crack, it shatters completely. And the way they do that is they heat the glass up over 1,000 and then they cool it very quickly from both sides. And it sets up a stress in the glass because now it hasn't been allowed to anneal. The top and the bottom kind of clamp in on one another and it creates a lot of tension in the glass. So that way if there's just a small crack or something starts, the whole panel will release that stress and fracture. So we're just going to use a pair of mosaic nippers and just snip the corner piece of this glass. And there's all our material. So what we've been doing is laying it into a mold and building up the edges. So even though it's one piece of glass here, you can see all the little cracks, all the individual pieces. So as I lay it up into the mold, it'll break into the individual pieces. And as they fall towards the bottom of the mold, they'll lean up against one another. The interesting thing I found out about tempered glass is that people don't untemper glass. So if a glass shop in the area has tempered a piece and the customer couldn't use it, it's just sitting in their warehouse, not being done, or they throw it out. So for me, it's kind of an endless resource of material because they just want to get rid of it. So it's my way of recycling glass. So as we come up the sides, it's all stacking on top and the mold is tilted out a little bit. So we don't have to use any kind of glue, just that process of it leaning out and the pieces stacking up on top of one another allow me to build this up the edges. So the interesting thing about this technique is the firing in the kiln. If we heat this up and we take it up just about 1300, everything starts melting together and adhering together into a solid piece. And we get pieces that look like that. If we go up too high, it can start to buckle a little bit depending on the mold because this weight is pushing down and actually buckles, but it doesn't buckle until it's melted together. So the buckles actually kind of are neat to me. They show how that weight of glass is actually forcing. Stained glass will deflect over time. The weight of the stained glass panel pushes down on the bottom and you'll see stained glass panels bending and buckling for the same reason. If we use a flatter mold, we can heat it up higher and then we get this solid base, which really helps keep that vase standing up. And it gives the glass a whole different look, much more like melted ice cream. But if we keep heating this up higher, it just all melts down towards the center of the mold. So this is kind of the extreme of just tacking it together from this point. And this is kind of the other end where we've heated it up enough to get it to melt and actually start moving down towards the center and creating that nice solid bottom.